I think today, 就说我想说我们的战术比较成功今天。
Your drafts were successful today.
I think.
Yes, yes. I think you clearly proved that time and time again. Congratulations on those decisions. Are you able to kind of enjoy this moment a little bit, or are you already looking to evil geniuses?
Absolutely, we are looking for evil genius because beat win secretly. It's very important to us, to make us more confident, and in this tournament, I mean, it's very important win secretly to us.
What did you learn last year coming in second with VG? What were the lessons there that you're bringing in this year?
Joshi.
Sorry. Oh, don't apologize. You're doing great.
就是我觉得发挥这个东西，就是大家都有发挥不好的时候，然后最关键的就是我觉得战术一定要到位。我认为去年在决赛中我的战术上，很失败，我其实很沮丧，然后我也很自责。不过目前为止，我感觉我战术安排的都还不错，所以我挺开心的在这一点。
Josh, come on over.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. You're doing great. You're doing great. Josh is here. He's going to help translate so we can.
So he said last year in the finals, my tactics and strategy were very bad. It was a failure, and at the time I felt really down about it. But so far this year, I've taken that lesson, and my tactics and strategy, the choices here have been good so far.
You're really hard on yourself, aren't you?
你对自己挺自责的，是吧
？Yeah. Really? Last year, I mean.
Yeah, but this year you're doing great.
I think so.
Thank you so much for talking to us. And Josh, good to have you back. Thank you for helping out. And we'll be looking forward to the match with Evil Geniuses. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Casey. Thanks to our ROTK and to Josh as well. Thank you very much for the translations in there. He's obviously very happy, and he rightly should be happy. He almost seemed a little bit surprised in some way as well, but also he was struck by his calmness. I mean, he said he was excited, but he didn't really show that. I've seen him much more excited than that. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's a true personality as well. He has been loud in some lands over in Asia, and truly amazing to hear his thoughts here. And thanks to Josh for helping out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
A heroic effort there from Casey and Josh and ROTK, I think, definitely. We got the job done, team.
Yeah, we did. We got there. Let's check in with the bracket right now because we have a completed upper bracket in the quarterfinals. All 4 games have been completed. Our final team joining the semi-final of the upper bracket will now be eHome, not Team Secret, as many predicted. In fact, I think the predictions are well over 90% for that one. So we've got LGD versus CDEC and EG versus eHome. The thing that strikes me most about that is, of course, we were talking about pendulums yesterday, Alan.
Oh, yeah.
Swinging between east and west, and many people have predicted that this year it'd swing back towards the west. And here we are in the semi-finals of the upper bracket, and 3 of them are Chinese teams.
Yeah, not only 3 out of the 4 Chinese teams, but let's not forget, these are the 2 out of the 4 are the teams that competed in the Chinese qualifiers. CDEC, the wild card team, and eHome, the team that looked very convincing in those same qualifiers. But boy, I don't think anybody expected this kind of performance from them. And again, the common denominator, we talked about it before, young players showing up to play for those teams.
It's going to be a crazy semi-final, Ben, when you think about that. That's Sumail versus CTY.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether EG is like relieved that they don't have to play Secret or disappointed because they don't have a chance to beat Secret because they might not even meet in this tournament.
No, maybe not. And it's an awful long road back as well, Ted, isn't it, for Team Secret now, that lower bracket. And I think, would it be fair to say that the teams down there are now looking at that going, oh, no?
Well, I mean, on the basis of that performance, I don't think it's safe to judge Secret on that game. eHome absolutely destroyed them. I'm sure Secret will go away and look at that and say, okay, what went wrong here? I mean, there's no way they're just going to say, oh, well, we give up. I mean, they came here to win the tournament. They were many people's favourites. I personally thought it was going to be an LGD Secret final. I still think LGD are probably going to get there, but eHome have shown that they're more than capable of performing at this level, and they could go all the way. It could be LGD in the final, it could be CDEC, but I'd be amazed if it wasn't one of those two.
Okay. eHome, in terms of group stages, weren't that impressive. Certainly didn't. Nothing suggested that performance was on its way in the quarterfinals. So what's been the difference, do you think, between last week and this week for them?
I think just more time to adapt to the one opponent ahead of themselves. Because right now they just focused really well and got into, as he said, they tried to focus on how to beat Secret. And they made a strategy that was just beautiful in both these games, didn't show any real weakness. It was just amazing to watch.
Yeah, that seems to me to be kind of the second part of the formula. Again, these players with veteran experience. I mean, you give ROTK and Lanham a couple days to think about a team, they're going to impress. But boy, oh boy, I mean, this is the first LAN series that Secret has lost since April.
Yes,
they lost
April 23rd.
That's right,
against Team Malaysia.
And I mean, come on. I think all of us, nobody expected that Secret was just going to show up at TI5 to pick up their trophy, okay? But to see them go out this early in the tournament, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing result.
We are going to move on now to the lower bracket now. It is Empire versus MVP Phoenix. And these two teams are on their way out into the arena right now. The shades have become popular today. I don't know if it's got so bright there, down there suddenly. The light maybe is a bit strong. I don't know.
Let's keep an eye on these handshakes. You know, let's see some sporting handshakes unlike last night. So hopefully we'll see you around it.
Yeah, no, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Look at that.
Let's watch. Keep an eye. Okay, I think we're good on handshakes.
We're all good.
Whew.
No danger. The danger has passed.
To be fair, I believe that was after the series. Yes. Rabbit was looking a little bit like he wanted to get away from there.
Indeed. So we'll let them get set up in the pods. Of course, all their equipment will be there ready. They'll be just ready to go in a few minutes' time, and we'll let them do that. And we'll also talk about both of the teams in just a moment. But first of all, this is Team Empire's lineup. There they are then, the team that everyone says in the past should have won something, but a different lineup on the way for Team Empire this year. And they've also had a reasonably good year, but so far have flattered to deceive. They did go out, of course, in the Group B stages and fell to the bottom half of the bracket thanks to a playoff, and of course got into the top half and then lost yesterday. So they've made it the hard way round. We'll see whether they can continue through the international today, because they are in the last chance saloon. Of course, these teams now playing in best of threes, and the loser disappears from the competition. So they are in the last time that they can have anything to do with the international. When they go further, they've got to win today. Their opponents today are MVP Phoenix, and they line up like this. MVP Phoenix, of course, coming through that incredible game against Newbie yesterday, knocking out the reigning champions and continuing on. They will finish at the very least 9th to 12th, an improvement on their previous placements, of course. For March, who is 28 in his last international, as he heads off to military service at the end of this international, and he'll want to go as far as he can. He already said that in the interview, in a very emotional interview with Casey yesterday. So we'll start with MVP Phoenix and start with Malini. The odds are against them, obviously. They've fallen to a Team Empire who we know how strong they are. And yesterday, it could be argued that they probably won 1.5 games yesterday against LGD. And obviously, you've got to win 2-1 at that. But they played well for some moments. and then went down to the lower bracket. Are they not the stronger team of the two?
Empire?
Yeah.
Yes, certainly on paper. And even going before the tournament, I think Synderen had them in their top 3. I would probably have Empire in my top 8. And MVP Phoenix, I didn't even have coming out through the wild cards. But MVP Phoenix, I mean, they've been playing very, very well. But I think more so it just depends on how Empire is going to show up. Yesterday, they played amazingly. By far the best I've seen them in any of the games they played, including the group stage. And if they play like they did versus LGD, I think it should be actually an easy 2-0 for them.
Okay. Ted, it's not always easy to compare teams side by side unless they've played recently, of course. And the most recent form we have about MVP Phoenix, and it's interesting, is that they came out of the wild cards where CDEC came out, and they're in the semi-finals of the upper bracket. Does that not put them in a bit of context? Actually, they weren't quite as bad as everyone thought they were.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think in a competition like this, you win one best of 3 and all of a sudden, things improve for you drastically. You lose one and all of a sudden things get terrible. So I think it's hard to gauge them on a small sample size like that. But the question I would have is that everyone's been telling me MVP teams play a very aggressive style, and that the reaction from Empire is going to be, do they go and fight or do they go and farm? And that's what I'm going to be looking to see, because I think if they feel they're the better team, they'll go and fight, and they'll think they can outfight them, maybe.
Okay, all right. Wagon, what are your thoughts on this one?
I actually think that, as Merlini said, Empire is on paper a stronger team, but I always count on March to surprise and impress.
He wasn't particularly spectacular stats-wise yesterday. I think he said himself he only went 1-0, and that was horrible in his own words. But QO was very strong yesterday.
No, if MVP Phoenix are going to win this series, they're going to do it on the back of QO. QO is 8.8 kills per 35 minutes in Dota 2 LAN games. That is by far the most of any player. The next highest is 7.6. He's 14.5k hero damage per 35 minutes. Next highest is under 13k. This kid is explosive, and if they have a hope of beating Empire, it is going to be behind his play.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen.